Hi everyone, welcome to Power Semiconductor Drives lecture series. This is lecture number 9. In the last lecture we studied about the basic concepts of induction motor and also what are the topics we have to cover in the control schemes of induction motors. Today's lecture we will complete the speed control methods. Basically we have 5 types of speed control methods for induction motor. First one is pole changing method, second one is stator voltage control method, and third one is supply frequency control method, and fourth one is rotor resistance control, and last the fifth one is slip energy recovery. The basic formula for synchronous speed is 120 F by P. That means the rotor speed is nothing but N is equal to Ns into 1 minus S. The rotor speed is nothing but the mission speed. For controlling this N value, it will depends upon the Ns value and also S value. Ns value is again depends upon the frequency and pole. That means the first method is pole changing method. That is by changing the poles, number of poles, the speed can be changed. Second one is stator voltage control method. By changing the supply voltage to the stator windings, you can control the speed of the machine because torque value is directly proportional to the square times of voltage value. That means by changing the voltage value, you can easily change the torque value. The speed of the machine can also be changed. And third one is supply frequency. In Ns formula, you can observe that if change the frequency value, Ns value is also changed. That means the machine speed can be controlled by using the frequency also. And the fourth one is rotor resistance control method. This is applicable for SRIM, that is slip ring induction motor. In slip ring induction motor, the rotor resistance can be varied for controlling the speed of the machine. And also the fifth one is, it is also applicable, mainly applicable for SRIM only. Here also the slip energy recovery. The slip can be changed by using this method also. We will next sessions we will see how the speed control methods will be applicable for the induction motors. In today's session, we will complete both the pole changing methods and stator voltage control methods. In this lecture, we will cover these two topics: pole changing method and stator voltage control method. Now we will move on to the first one, pole changing method. What is the pole changing method? That is, by changing the number of poles, we can change the speed of the machine because Ns is equal to 120 F by P. By increasing the number of poles, we can easily decrease the speed of the machine. Similarly, if you decrease the number of poles, then we can easily increase the speed of the machine because it is inversely proportional. That's why the pole changing method is applicable for the speed control method, but it is only applicable for SCIM, that is squirrel cage induction motor. Here the two stator windings are used because each winding has a different number of poles. Because for example, if you consider first, if you design a stator winding with 6 number of poles, then later we will select another set of stator windings. For example, it produces 12 poles. That means first set produces 6 poles and next set will produce 12 poles. That means we can change at a time. You can apply any one stator winding to the machine. With that, we can change the number of poles. Based on that, the speed will be changed. So now it is applicable for SCIM only. It is not applicable for squirrel cage slip ring induction motor. Here, second point is it consists of two stator windings. I already told you, with two stator windings at a time, the current will not passes through two stator windings. Any one winding only acts to control the speed of the machine. So that is second point. And third point is, obviously there is a cost will be more because we are using two sets of stator windings to control the speed of the machine. That's why the cost is more and the complex switching arrangement is also more. And practically it is not, practically we can control up to twice that of actual poles. That means, for example, if you designed a stator windings for 6 poles, then we can change up to 12 poles only, 2 times. That is 6 means 6 into 2, 12 times you can change. Normally this practical application is applicable for twice that of the actual pole number of poles. That means we can increase up to 12 poles only. If you consider 6 poles is the actual, then we can control up to 12 poles. That is the point, third point. And pole changing method also we have two sub classifications. That is multiple stator windings. We are using two types of stator windings. Two stator windings which are isolated, electrically isolated from each other. At a time, only one stator winding acts into each other. And next one is based on these, there is a lot of disadvantages also. Previously, I told you in the third point also, cost and switching arrangement is very complex, and the efficiency is also less. Smooth operation of speed control is not possible because you have to change by using switches only. You have to change the winding sets. That's why the problem is also with the switching arrangement. That is, a smooth operation is not possible with the multi-motor system. Smooth speed control is not possible with multi-stator windings. And next, second subtopic in this is, next method is pole amplitude modulation method. Pole amplitude modulation method, that is PAM. In this method, by using MMF, that is original sinusoidal MMF wave is modulated with another sinusoidal MMF wave having a different number of poles. With that, we can change the speed of the mission. So based on the MMFs only, we are changing the speed of the mission. Okay. Now we'll go to the first step. That is the first method, multiple stator winding. How the multiple stator winding we are using to control the speed of the mission. So see this one. First point is Ns is equal to 120 F by P. This is the actual synchronous speed. By that means by changing the poles, we can change the Ns value. If at manufacturer level we are designing this, number of poles are changed, then that machine is called as a multi-motor machine or a pole changing motor. Let us consider here a primary stator windings in the A diagram. That is, it consists of 6 poles. That means we are by using the stator windings, we are creating 6 poles. All the 6 poles are numbered here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you observe here, south poles are created at coil 1, coil 3 and coil 5. And north poles are created by using coils 2, 4 and 6. All the even coils will create a north pole, all the odd coils will create a south pole here. This is the present case we are considering here. And the south pole coils, that is south pole coils starting point is A, and the south pole coils ending point, that is coil 1, after that it passes through coil 3 and it passes through coil 5 and ends at terminal B. If you observe that the current direction, flow of current direction from A to B, starts from A and ends at B, then only it will create a south pole. If you want to change this coil as a north pole, then change the current direction. Obviously, it will convert it to a north pole. Okay. And also here, one more set of coils here, even number of poles 2, 4, 6, 8. The current is entered at D. Current is entered at D and passes through 6 and then through 4 and then through 2 and reaches to C. That means it creates a north pole. This is the initial case we are considering here. By using a stator windings, we are creating a 6-pole machine. If you want to change the speed of the machine, we have to change the number of poles. Then we can change the number of poles also. By using this type of connection, we can check here. We have another set of coils. That is, we can clearly observe here. Coil A, that is coil A to B. That is, from starting point is A. Previous diagram, 1, 3 and 5 created a coil with the terminals of A and B. Now the same coils 1, 3 and 5. 1, 3 and 5 created the same coil. We are considering the same coil, but the coils are acting as a north pole here because the direction of flow of current is opposite. In the previous case, the current starts from A and reaches to B, but in this case, current starts from B. Current starts from B and reaches to coil 5 and reaches to coil 3 and then reaches to 1 and it is away from the coil with terminal A. That's why the direction is changed. The coils will act as a north pole here. Now we are creating north pole and C and D directions will not change here. If you clearly observe that in the previous case, the same direction of currents from starting from D to C, the current is flow from D to C. The same current direction here also mentioned here. Okay, mentioned here. It passes through even coils and away from the C. So there is no change in the direction of C and D coils. Okay, then it creates 12 poles. You can check here because all the coils which are indicated here 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6 all are indicated north poles only. North poles only. In between that we have south pole also. Automatically it will create a south pole here. Okay, south pole here. So with this we can create a 12 pole machine. 12 pole machine. Like this, if we consider AB as a single coil, see in the below diagram series connection. We have a lot of possible combinations are there, series and parallel connections, and star and delta also we can use. With that we can control the speed of the machine also. Okay. For example, if you consider A and B coils, here in the below diagram series connection represented here, A and B. A and B contains 1, 3, 5 and C and D. If we connect B terminal to the D here, first point, that is current flow in the same direction. All the current flow starts from A through B and then reaches to D and then reaches to C. By this connection, this is a series connection and parallel connection. If you want to connect it is in parallel, just we have to connect this one as like this. If you connect A with the D terminal and C with B terminal, then it will be a parallel connection. The current will divide here. Okay. This is in the case of 6-pole. This is in the case of 6-pole only. If you want to connect the same connection series and parallel in the 12-pole, this is the type of connection we have to consider. And current passes from B to A, and then A is connected to D, and then it reaches to C. This is a series connection in 12-pole windings. And parallel connection, if you want to connect parallel, just short A and C and B and D enough. The current flow will flows like this. This is nothing but the 12-pole connection series and parallel. Now we'll see how the control schemes are occurred based on this pole changing. We have only 6-pole and 12-pole. With that only we can control the speed of the machine. We have 3 possible control schemes. First one is constant torque. We can maintain constant torque. With that we can control the speed of the machine also. And the second category is we can maintain constant power. Based on the maintaining constant power, we can control the speed of the machine. And third one is by varying the torque control. That means we can change the variable torque also. Variable torque means we are almost all maintaining the power constant. Another method is also there. We can clearly observe here from the top of the diagram. You can see here a 6-pole and 12-pole. 6-pole and 12-pole. In the right side they are given the speed torque characteristics. For 6-pole speed torque characteristics, speed is y-axis and torque is x-axis. That's why the diagram will be like this. So 6-pole diagram and 12-pole speed torque characteristics are represented here. And if you want a 6-pole, just we have to connect these AB and CD coils like this. Just for example, I considered here only AB and CD. AB and CD coils previously we discussed here. This is AB and CD coils. I am considering just a single pole in the sense single phase. I am considering this one. This is for 3-phase. If you consider a 3-phase here, star connection and delta connection is possible. That's why if you connect AB and DC like this, by connecting A and D short circuit and B and C short circuit, and overall the 3-phase windings will be in star connection, then it will produce a high speed 6-pole. Similarly, if you connect a delta type, that means we are short circuiting here, A and D are short circuited and B is connected to phase A and C is connected to phase B. Like this, if you form a delta connection, then it will create a 12-pole low speed machine. With that we can see here first diagram is high speed and second diagram is low speed. That's why the diagram represents speed torque characteristics will be like this. Similarly, we can change different types of connections is possible. And the second diagram 6.27, you can see the constant power control. In the first case, it is a constant torque control. That means almost all we are maintaining a constant torque here in the first diagram. That is a speed control by speed control torque. Speed torque curve, we can observe that there is a constant torque control here. If you want to maintain a constant power, then the connection will be like this. High speed 6-pole will be created by using a delta connection. By short circuiting B and C terminals, and A terminal is connected to phase A, C terminal is connected to phase BA. With this we can get a high speed 6-pole, or we can get a low speed 12-pole also. Low speed 12-pole also by connecting short circuiting A and C, small a and C, and next B and D also short circuited. Then we will get a low speed 12-pole machine. Then the speed control characteristics will be like this for these two types of connections. First one is 6-pole, it is a high speed, that's why the torque characteristics will be like this. And 12-pole is a low speed machine, that's why we are getting this. Here the torque values are different, but the power will be constant here. So this second method of power control, that is a speed control. And third type of connection is, here we are creating a high speed 6-pole and a low speed 12-pole. High speed 6-pole and low speed 12-pole, similar to that of first case, that is high speed 6-pole and low speed 12-pole. But the connections you can clearly observe that for high speed 6-pole, A and D are short circuited, B and C are short circuited, similar to the first one, that is high speed 6 pole. Whereas for 12 pole low speed, here we are using a star connection, not delta connection. In the first case, we are using a delta connection, low speed 12 pole, but in third case, we are connecting it as a star connection only, but the coils are connected in series. In the first case also coils are connected in series, but it forms a delta connection. But in the third case, we are connecting it is in series, but it forms a star connection. If you connect like this, you will get a 12 pole low speed. That's why the torque speed characteristics are represented like this. Okay, low speed and 12 pole is a low speed and 6 pole is a high speed machine. And here the torque is not constant, torque is also variable. Like this, we can control the speed of the machine. So we'll go to the next one. Next method is stator voltage control method. In the previous case, pole changing method, the disadvantage we already discussed. Cost is more, complexity is high, and there is no possible of smooth control. Okay, those are the drawbacks. We can overcome somewhat the drawbacks in stator voltage control. Okay, here the stator voltage control. How the stator voltage control will control the speed of the machine means, that is the main thing. The torque value, first point indicates that the torque depends upon the square times that of supply voltage. Here I mentioned a maximum torque. Normal developed torque also depends upon the square times of V square. Whereas slip at maximum torque is independent of supply voltage. You can see the formula here. There is no voltage term. That means SM is independent of voltage term also. And the third one, the variation in the supply voltage does not alter NS, because NS is equal to N into 1 minus Z. Directly it will not vary the synchronous speed. But directly changing the voltage, the synchronous speed will not directly vary, because if there is no voltage term in the formula. So, but indirectly we can vary. That means by varying the torque, we can change the speed also. Okay. Later on we will discuss how the speed is in detail. We will discuss. Okay. And the last point, fourth one, is this type of control schemes are applicable. That is, stator voltage control schemes are applicable for torque. That is a small rated missions, low power rating and narrow speed control methods, because it produces there is a torque and speed relations are inversely proportional relations. For example, if you consider a fan load, it has a torque is inversely proportional to 1 by n square. That is, a torque is proportional to 1 by n square. The fan load has torque and speed are inversely proportional. Torque is directly proportional to 1 by n square. That means torque value, if you change the torque value, the speed value will abruptly decreases. Like that, the power rating will be very low. And also there is if you use this method for a high rating machine, there is a possible of more losses in the machine and the efficiency will decreases. And there is a possible of overheating of the machine also, because due to the losses, the heat will produces more and it will produce a less efficiency to the machine with more number of losses. It is not an effective method to applicable for high rated machine. That's why it is only preferable for low rating and narrow speed control. There is no wide speed control. There is only narrow speed control methods only where applicable these methods. Let us move on to how the stator voltage is controlled here. You can consider here there is a torque speed characteristics. They are mentioned a 3 speed torque characteristics with a fan type of load. Okay, 3 voltages. If you vary the voltage, the torque value is changed automatically, because torque. So by changing the voltage, torque is also changed. So the graph will be like this. Here we are mentioning 3 different voltages: V1, V2, V3. And 3 different torque speed characteristics also there. For a fan load is common. For the same fan load, we are using 3 different voltages. We can clearly observe that the torque value is different and the operating point is also different for the 3 voltages. If you consider V1, the operating point is increased here, and if you consider V2, the operating point will decrease, and the maximum torque is also decreased compared to previous one. And also the operating point, if you consider V3 also has N3, that is speed also varied with a operating point shifted to the third point, and maximum torque is also decreased. We are getting the 3 different speeds of controls here. So like this, we can vary the stator voltage, we can control the speed of the machine also. Only thing is it is applicable for low rated machines only. Here also we have a lot of methods. We can, by using this, we can control the stator voltage. That is speed of the machine, we can control by using a stator voltage. We have a lot of methods. We have we can broadly classify into conventional method and solid state, that is power electronic devices. We are using by using power electronic devices also we can control, or by using a conventional method, basic method we are also having. In conventional method, we have two types of methods. External resistance, by connecting an external resistance to the stator circuit, that means by varying the resistance value, we can change the voltage. Because in the resistance, the drop will occur, there is a possible to reduce the voltage also. So in terms of drop, with that we can control the speed of the machine. We can clearly observe that there is a drawback in the form of losses, because we are connecting a resistance, external resistance here means the stator side, means there is a possible of a more number of losses. That's why the more number of losses means the efficiency will also decreases. And second method is by using an auto transformer. Auto transformer, it produces a variable speed, variable voltage. With that we can control the speed of the machine. And next one is solid state control method. Solid state control method, that is by using a power electronic device, you can easily control the same operation by using a thyristors or by using a triax also. Thyristor, by varying the firing angles, you can control the voltage of the machine, or by using a triac also you can control the vary output voltage of the machine, that is a stator voltage of the machine. With that we can control the speed of the machine. You can see the diagrams also. The first diagram indicates the first method, that is a conventional method. These two are conventional methods only. First method is the primary resistance. By connecting an external resistance to the stator windings, you can easily control the speed of the machine. This is our diagram for the basic diagram for the speed control. And the second diagram also indicates by using an auto transformer, because the auto transformer produces a variable AC output voltage to the machine, three-phase windings. Next two diagrams indicates the thyristor method and triac method. Thyristor method, here we are using an anti-parallel connection of the thyristors to produce a variable output voltage. It is nothing but AC voltage regulators. Nothing but AC voltage regulators. The same operation we will do by using a triac also. Triac is also called as a solid state fan regulator, because triac control is used to control the machine induction motor, single phase induction motor. That means that we can use this one for as a regulator also, solid state fan regulator. It is very compact and efficient and convenient variable output, so it is more preferable. In the regulators, we can in your houses also we can see the triac control methods also. And this is nothing but three phase. Previously we discussed a single phase. These are the three phase. Three phase, we can clearly observe that here the anti-parallel connection of SCR and diode. In all the phases, SCR and diode we are using. That means it is a half wave rectifier, half wave AC voltage controller we are using to control the speed of the machine. And the first diagram we can see all the thyristors are connected in anti-parallel. That means it is nothing but a full wave rectifier. These are also used to control the speed of the machine. So this is the basic nothing but the AC voltage regulators only. By using AC voltage regulators, we are controlling the output voltages, and with that we can control the speed of the machine. Okay, we can use a closed loop also. For example, if you want to control this machine, it is an open loop. If you want to control in a closed loop, we can use a speed sensor. You can use a speed sensor by sensing the actual speed of the machine and compare it with a reference speed. With that, we can trigger the firing angles. So we can control the speed of the machine. You can see this one. Advantages of stator voltage control. What are the advantages? It is very simple and compact, less weight. It produces quick responses. There is a considerable saving in energy, and thus it is an economical method. Disadvantages are the input power factor is very low. Voltage current waveforms are highly distorted due to the harmonics. That means it produces more number of harmonics, which affects the efficiency of the machine also. Performance is also poor under running condition at low speeds. Operating efficiency is low as resistance losses are high, because the resistance losses are high also. Maximum torque available from the motor decreases with the decrease in the stator voltage. Maximum torque available from the motor decreases with the decreasing in stator voltage. And sixth point is at low speed, motor currents are excessive and special arrangements should be provided to limit the excessive currents. Obviously, at low speeds, motor currents will be more. So we should arrange some arrangement, that is, so we need to protect some protecting devices to reduce the high currents, to limit the high currents also. And applications, they are mainly used in low power applications such as fans, blowers, centrifugal pumps, where the starting torque is low. And the next one is they are also used for starting high power induction motors to limit the inrush current, that is starting current. For reducing the starting current also we can use this type of stator voltage control methods. Okay, this is nothing with the closed loop. Previously we told that if you want to control it is in a closed loop, we have to use a rotor sensor, tacho generator which generates a voltage with respect to the corresponding speed of the machine. So with that speed of the machine, we can produce a voltage. So with that voltage, that is the actual speed, with the reference speed, we can produce a firing angle. With that firing angle, we can control the speed of the machine by changing. For example, if you consider reference speed, if reference speed is greater than actual speed, reference speed is more than the actual speed, the error will be positive. With that error positive values, the thyristor is triggered, the conduction period will increases. That means the conduction period of the SCRs will increase. With that increased value, the motor torque will increase as well as the motor speed also increases. The same work will do when reference speed is less than the actual speed. Quite opposite, that is decreasing values of the conduction periods, and the motor torque is also decreased as well as the decreases the motor speed if the reference speed is less than the actual speed. For example, if your reference speed is equal to the actual speed, there is no need of any changes in the conduction period of SCRs. The required firing angle is enough to control the speed of the machine. So that is a closed loop operation. We can use this one. And this application is also AC voltage controller, that is a stator voltage control, is also used for 4-quadrant operations also. How you can use this one for 4-quadrant operation means, see that circuit diagram here, R, Y, B phases, each and every phase. For example, R phase has a set of SCRs which are indicated as R, and Y phase has a set of SCRs indicated as Y, and B phase SCRs are indicated as B. Whereas for 4-quadrant operation, we are additionally including a set of 2 sets of SCRs which are connected in anti-parallel, that is R dash and B dash. R dash is connected between R and B, whereas B dash is connected between R and B. For 4-quadrant operation we are using. For simple understanding, I am considering, for example, if you operate RYB, then the machine will operate in first and fourth quadrant. First and fourth quadrant means motoring mode and plugging mode. At the right side you can see this splitter characteristics. First quadrant is motoring operation and fourth quadrant is plugging operation. Speed is on y-axis, torque is on x-axis. So first and fourth quadrant. If you operate R dash, Y and B dash, it's not Y, R dash, Y, B dash, R dash, Y, B dash, then the motor will operate in second and third quadrant. Second quadrant is nothing but the plugging operation, and third quadrant is nothing but the motoring operation. Okay, so reverse motoring operation, forward motoring, reverse motoring. Okay, so this is a 4-quadrant operation of, by using a stator voltage control, we can operate in 4 quadrants also. That means we can operate at any speed. This is nothing but a single quadrant closed loop speed control. Single quadrant. We have to operate this machine at single quadrant. We have to use this one. For example, if you want to control this one for 4 quadrants, there is some small changes. We have to add one device here. With that, we can control in 4 quadrants also. First, we will see single quadrant operation. What are the devices we are using here? Single quadrant operation for a 3-phase induction motor speed control. We are using a tacho generator. With that, we can detect the actual speed of the machine by referring with the actual reference speed. Comparing with reference speed, the actual speed produces an error signal. That error signal will amplify and passes to the speed controller. With that speed controller output signal again given to the current limiter. The current limiter sets a reference value, and the reference current is compared with actual current value of the stator current, actual current value of the motor. That is current. With that we can compare, and it passes through a current controller. With that current controller, the firing angles are generated, and with this firing angles, a 3-phase AC voltage regulator will operate to control the speed of the machine. This is an actual closed loop for single quadrant, 4 quadrants. You can use this one. This is a 4-quadrant closed loop speed control. Only thing is we are adding an additional component here, master controller. There is a master controller here. So here the master control has 3 input signals. One is came from speed error signal, another one is firing signal, and another one is ID value, that is actual current of the stator. 3 input signal. It takes 3 input signal and produces a firing angle to the AC voltage regulator. Okay. Remaining all things are same. The absolute value current will produce a positive value. Always it produces a positive value. That means if you are generating a negative value, it will produce a positive value to the remaining blocks also. The remaining operations are same. Only thing is master controller should add here. Master controller has 3 input signals: speed error signal, firing signal of output, and stator current. Error is negative means the master signal will operate in negative speed. That is a negative speed. That means negative speed will occur when reference is less than the actual speed. So with that signal, the motor will operate. The 4-quadrant operation is possible by using this closed loop arrangement. Okay. And master controller also provides a delay of 5 to 10 minutes after zero current is sensed for ensuring that outgoing ACRs are turned off. This is all about the today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will see